Did you know that some psychology tricks are so powerful they should be illegal? These aren't parlor tricks or illusions, but subtle techniques used to influence your decisions and actions, often without you even realizing it. These tactics, sometimes bordering on manipulation, raise ethical concerns about their place in our society. Imagine a world where advertisers can exploit your deepest fears to sell you products, or where politicians can sway your vote with a carefully crafted phrase. That's the power of psychology tricks, and in the wrong hands, they can be incredibly dangerous. In this video, we'll delve into the fascinating and sometimes unsettling world of psychological manipulation. We'll uncover 7 controversial techniques that could very well be banned due to their manipulative potential. By understanding these tactics, you can protect yourself from becoming a victim of their influence. Psychology tricks, at their core, are techniques that leverage our understanding of human behavior to elicit specific responses. These techniques can be incredibly subtle, operating beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. Think about the last time you bought something online. Did you notice the countdown timer urging you to complete your purchase before the deal ends? That's a psychology trick called scarcity, designed to create a sense of urgency and fear of missing out. From the advertisements we encounter to the interactions we have with others, psychology tricks are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. While some of these techniques are harmless, used ethically to nudge us towards positive choices, others can be employed for more dubious purposes. The line between ethical persuasion and manipulation can be blurry, often depending on the intentions of the person using the technique. For example, a therapist might use a technique called framing to help a patient reframe negative thoughts in a more positive light. Conversely, a salesperson might use the same technique to downplay the drawbacks of a product while exaggerating its benefits. Understanding the difference between ethical persuasion and manipulation is crucial for navigating the complex world of psychology tricks. By developing a critical eye and questioning the motives behind certain tactics, you can become a more discerning consumer of information and a less susceptible target for manipulation. This journey into the realm of psychology tricks is about empowering you, the viewer, to recognize and resist manipulative tactics. Knowledge is your best defense against these subtle forms of influence. The use of psychology tricks, particularly those that operate on an unconscious level, raises a number of ethical concerns. One of the most pressing issues is the concept of consent. When someone is unaware that their thoughts and behaviors are being influenced, can they truly consent to that influence? This question lies at the heart of the debate surrounding the ethics of these techniques. Another ethical concern is the potential for harm. While some psychology tricks might seem harmless on the surface, they can have unintended consequences, particularly when used on vulnerable individuals. For example, a technique designed to increase compliance could be used to exploit someone with low self-esteem or a history of being manipulated. The use of psychology tricks also raises questions about fairness and transparency. When these techniques are used in advertising, marketing, or even political campaigns, they can create an uneven playing field. Those who are aware of these tactics and how to use them effectively have a distinct advantage over those who are not. Transparency is crucial in mitigating the ethical concerns surrounding psychology tricks. When these techniques are used openly and honestly, with the informed consent of the individuals involved, they can be powerful tools for positive change. However, when used covertly and deceptively, they can erode trust and undermine our ability to make autonomous decisions. As we delve deeper into the specific psychology tricks that could be banned, keep these ethical considerations in mind. The power of these techniques lies not only in their effectiveness, but also in our understanding of their potential for both benefit and harm. Persuasion, at its core, is the art of influencing someone's beliefs, attitudes, intentions, motivations, or behaviours. It's an integral part of human interaction, shaping our decisions from the mundane to the life-altering. But where does persuasion end and manipulation begin? That's the crucial question we need to address. Imagine a salesperson who uses their knowledge of your emotional triggers to pressure you into buying a product you don't need or can't afford. They might employ flattery, guilt trips, or even veiled threats to break down your resistance. This is a clear example of persuasion crossing the line into manipulation. Manipulation, unlike ethical persuasion, often relies on deception, coercion, or exploitation. It seeks to benefit the manipulator at the expense of the person being manipulated. Think of a cult leader who uses mind control techniques to isolate their followers from the outside world, stripping them of their autonomy and critical thinking skills. The line between persuasion and manipulation can be blurry, often depending on the intent and methods employed. Ethical persuasion seeks to inform, educate, and empower individuals to make their own choices, while manipulation aims to control and exploit for personal gain. As we explore the specific psychology tricks in the upcoming chapters, we'll examine how they can be used for both good and bad. Understanding the difference between persuasion and manipulation is essential for recognizing when these tricks are being used ethically and when they're being employed for nefarious purposes. Now, let's dive into the 7 psychology tricks that are so controversial, so potentially harmful, that they could be banned outright. These tricks operate on our deepest psychological vulnerabilities, often bypassing our rational minds to influence our thoughts and actions in ways we may not even be aware of. First on our list is the foot in the door technique. This insidious trick involves making a small, seemingly insignificant request as a way to gain compliance with a larger, more desirable request later on. It plays on our desire to appear consistent in our actions and our reluctance to back down once we've made a commitment, however small. Next up is the door in the face technique, a manipulative tactic that involves starting with an outrageous request that is sure to be rejected, only to follow it up with a smaller, more reasonable request that now seems much more appealing in comparison. This trick preys on our feelings of guilt and obligation, making us more likely to concede to the second request. The scarcity principle is another powerful psychological tool that is often used unethically. This tactic involves creating a sense of urgency and fear of missing out by highlighting the limited availability of a product, service, or opportunity. It plays on our primal instincts, triggering a sense of panic and a desire to act quickly before it's too late. Another controversial technique is the use of framing. This involves presenting information in a way that influences how it is perceived. By carefully selecting words, emphasizing certain details, and omitting others, manipulators can sway our opinions and decisions without us even realizing we're being manipulated. These are just a few examples of the many psychology tricks that are so powerful and potentially harmful that they could be banned. As we continue through the chapters, we'll delve deeper into each of these tactics, providing real-world examples and practical tips for recognizing and resisting their influence. Remember, knowledge is power. And by understanding these tricks, you can protect yourself from becoming a victim of their manipulation. The most insidious psychology tricks are those that operate beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. These tactics exploit our unconscious biases, our emotional vulnerabilities, and our deeply ingrained patterns of thought and behavior. They work by subtly shaping our perceptions, influencing our judgments, and ultimately guiding our actions without us ever realizing we're being manipulated. One such technique is known as priming. This involves subtly exposing individuals to certain stimuli, such as words, images, or sounds, to activate specific associations in their minds. For example, a study found that participants who were subliminally exposed to words related to old age walked more slowly down a hallway than those who were not. Another powerful technique is anchoring. This involves establishing a reference point, or anchor, that influences our subsequent judgments and decisions. For example, a salesperson might show you an outrageously expensive item first, anchoring your perception of value at a high level. This makes the next item you see, even if it's still quite expensive, seem like a bargain in comparison. The halo effect is another unconscious bias that can be exploited for manipulative purposes. This refers to our tendency to judge someone's character or abilities based on our overall impression of them. For example, we might assume that someone who is physically attractive is also intelligent, trustworthy, and competent, even if we have no evidence to support this assumption. These unconscious manipulations are particularly concerning because they bypass our rational minds, making us vulnerable to influence without our knowledge or consent. By understanding how these techniques work, we can start to recognize the subtle ways in which our thoughts and behaviors are being influenced and develop strategies for resisting these manipulations. Remember, awareness is the first step towards empowerment. By shining a light on these unconscious manipulations, we can begin to reclaim our autonomy and make more conscious, informed choices. One of the most alarming psychology tricks, and one that could easily be argued should be banned, is the manipulation of social proof. This tactic preys on our innate desire to conform, our deep-seated need to belong, and our tendency to look to others for guidance, especially in unfamiliar or uncertain situations. Think about the last time you were deciding on a restaurant. Did you choose the one with a long line snaking down the sidewalk, or the one with a handful of empty tables? Many of us would instinctively gravitate towards the crowded restaurant, assuming that the long line is indicative of its quality. We fall victim to the illusion that if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right choice. This principle of social proof is exploited in countless ways, from online reviews and testimonials to manufactured trends and viral marketing campaigns. We're constantly bombarded with messages suggesting that everyone's doing it, this is the latest craze, or don't be the last to know. This creates a sense of urgency, a fear of missing out, and a powerful incentive to conform. The danger of social proof manipulation lies in its ability to shut down our critical thinking and override our better judgment. When we're caught up in the frenzy of a crowd, we may make decisions we wouldn't otherwise make if we stop to think rationally and independently. This is why awareness of this powerful psychological tool is so crucial. By recognizing when social proof is being used to manipulate us, we can step back from the crowd, question the validity of the information presented, and make more conscious, informed choices based on our own values and judgment. Throughout this exploration of controversial psychology tricks, we've delved into the unsettling reality of manipulation, the ethical concerns it raises, and the very real impact these techniques have on our lives. From the subtle nudges of advertising to the overt coercion employed by cult leaders, these tactics are pervasive, often operating beneath the surface of our awareness. The key takeaway from this journey is not to instill fear or paranoia, but to empower you with awareness. By understanding how these psychology tricks work, recognizing the signs of manipulation, and developing strategies for resistance, you can navigate the world with greater discernment and protect yourself from becoming a victim of these tactics. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about the psychology of persuasion and manipulation, the better equipped you'll be to identify and resist these tactics in your own life. Question everything, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. The next time you encounter an advertisement that seems too good to be true, a salesperson who seems a little too eager to please, or a social media trend that makes you uncomfortable, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I being manipulated? If so, how can I resist this influence and make a conscious, informed choice that aligns with my own values and goals? This journey towards greater awareness is ongoing. The more we understand about the psychology of influence, the better equipped we'll be to create a world where ethical persuasion prevails and manipulation is kept in check. As we've uncovered the unsettling potential of these psychology tricks, it's crucial to remember that awareness is our greatest defense. By recognizing the subtle tactics used to sway our opinions and actions, we can resist their influence and make conscious, informed choices. Now it's your turn. Share your thoughts on these psychology tricks in the comments below. Have you ever felt manipulated by any of these tactics? How did you react? Let's start a conversation and learn from each other's experiences. Don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content on psychology and human behavior. Together, let's explore the fascinating complexities of the human mind and empower ourselves to navigate the world with greater awareness and resilience. Thank you for watching.